always looked up to as a fellow chartered accountant who has brought a lot of pride in our profession and a lot of glory to all the work that chartered accountants have done in the country. President-elect Mr. Rajiv Memani, Mr. Mukundan, former President of CII, the pillar of India's industrial and economic growth story, and my dear brother Chandrajit Banerjee, somebody whom we look up to as the permanent undersecretary of the types we used to have in the Yes Minister series. Presidents will come and go, but Chandrajit Banerjee holds CII together. And he keeps us in check also. But truly somebody who's passionate about India, about his motherland, somebody government trusts to be a voice of reason, to be a bridge between business and government. And I truly look up to his very sober and sage guidance on many issues from time to time. Thank you for all the good work you've done, Chandrajit. Keep it up. Excellencies, all the distinguished captains of industry who are in the room today, all the very distinguished members of CII, I see a lot of young friends, and that really is very, very satisfying because that's been on top of my agenda every time I came to CII. That we should become more inclusive, we should get more of the younger people, the next generation into our industry bodies. And lovely to see so many young friends here today, friends from the media. And I see a little bit of an inordinate interest amongst the media about my presence here for a change, for a variety of reasons on which I have no control. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about 7:15. I've attended a lot of your programs of CII, but I must compliment you that this is probably one of the most well-attended annual business summits in a long time, in a way reflecting the India story of 2025. The fact that today this business summit was opened by none other than Shri Rajnath Singh Ji, the Honorable Defence Minister, shows that Indian industry, Indian business, and the people of India collectively stand with the country, stand with the government, stand for Operation Sindoor, and are committed and passionate about our sovereignty, the nation's integrity, our fight against terrorism, and Indian industry will not be found wanting anytime anybody tries to even raise a finger on India. Thank you very much for all your support. The Honorable Prime Minister rightly said that Operation Sindoor not only brought the whole nation together, but also became a symbol of Atmanirbhar Bharat, became a defining moment for our defense manufacturing capabilities under the Make in India program, showed to the world what India can do, and also demonstrated to the world that India is a responsible nation. India is a nation that can stand up for what is right and will never flinch a moment when it comes to the safety, security, sovereignty and dignity of 140 crore Indians. I think it is also a moment of pride for us that we are well on track as the IMF has projected that by 2027, India will be the world's third largest GDP. It is also very appropriate that despite all the turbulence, all the volatility, uncertainty, and complexities that the world is going through, and I think that was the subject of your previous session, we continue to be the fastest growing economy in the world, and we continue to power global growth through growth in India. And friends, all of this is only possible when we work to a mission, collectively have a vision, when we are all aligned in our commitment to Viksit Bharat at 2047, when we shall celebrate 100 years of independence. It can only happen when you trust the government and the government trusts business and the people of India. It's a two-way traffic. In fact, I still remember when we came out with the Jan Vishwas bill a couple of years ago, where through one act of parliament, almost 42 or 43 laws of India were suitably amended to decriminalize over 180 sections, which were in some way or the other a burden, a compliance burden, a threat of criminal action on businesses, on the people of India. In our effort to promote ease of doing business, to promote ease of living, we've been continuously making life for businesses easier, reducing over 40,000 compliances, decriminalizing several laws, removing nearly 2,000 laws from the statute book. In that effort, when we came out with the Jan Vishwas bill, the Honorable Prime Minister suggested to me that the bill should reflect the trust between the people of India and the government of India, the mutual trust. And that is why the name was given Jan Vishwas Now Act. And for those who are from other countries, Jan is people, Vishwas is trust. It's reflective of the people's trust in the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, in the work of the government. And it's reflecting the fact that we are decriminalizing, the fact that we are promoting self-certification, the fact that we are encouraging businesses to come up with suggestions to make their businesses easier, the fact that we are working towards making people's lives simpler, is reflective of the government which trusts its stakeholders. And therefore, when we talk of building trust, it's a collective effort of all of us. Ideation, implementation, it's a process. And I must say, CII has played a very important role in this journey. We are blessed to have the support and encouragement from different areas in which the CII is continuously engaged with the government, acting as a bridge between your aspirations and our actions. And therefore, I think the effort that the government is doing, the effort that we want to promote, for example, as was just mentioned by Ipsita, the fact that artificial intelligence is something that we all recognize and we can all see galloping towards greater adoption in the country. CII has played an important role in helping us not only skill people, not only skill MSMEs or industry, but also understand the regulatory framework that will be required, also helping us assess its impact on businesses, on employment, on the needs of skilling or the reskilling that many of our professionals will require, the retraining that would be required in many organizations. And that's what will lead to not only responsible artificial intelligence, but will also lead to embracing technologies to work more efficiently, to work smarter, and get the best output in the interests of the people of India. And I think growth through trade, growth through a resilient economy or resilient supply chains, growth through innovation, all of these will be incomplete until we can promote inclusive growth. And therefore, friends, I would like to briefly touch upon what this government over the last 11 years has focused on. Many of us in the room will clearly remember the 2013-14 period when we were being looked down upon, looked down as a fragile five economy. The world had almost written us off. On almost every macroeconomic parameter, we were in trouble. Whether it's growth, low growth, inflation, high inflation, foreign exchange reserves depleting rapidly, matter of concern. When it came to banking, I think the story is etched in all our minds. Public sector banks were losing money of phenomenal amounts. And we all know the kind of non-performing loans and difficult conditions in which the Indian banking system found itself in. And all of us in business recognize that a strong banking system, large foreign exchange reserves, rapid growth in the economy, control on inflation, these are all the building blocks of a successful growth story of an economy that wishes to reach the benefits of development at that point of time to 1.2 billion people. Prime Minister Modi took 3 tracks in his vision to promote the India story to the world. On the one hand, he got cracking on strengthening all the macroeconomic fundamentals, strengthening the India economy, the India growth story, our ability to navigate difficulties, our ability to withstand challenges, crises, and quickly got the Reserve Bank of India to look at targeting inflation on a 4% plus minus 2% band, mandated Reserve Bank for the very first time, making inflation a part of their responsibility, primary responsibility, which by the way until 2014-15 was not the case. It was a part of their job, but they were not mandated by law to focus on inflation the way we did as soon as we came into government. Prime Minister Modi started looking at the twin factors of growth, infrastructure and investments in infrastructure, leading to investment-led growth, and consumption and ability of the people of India to consume, to demand goods and services to lead to consumption-led growth. And on this twin track, started building up the country's growth story such that for the last 3 years now in a row, we have been the fastest growing economy, large economy in the world. And I dare say for the next 30 years now, we will continue to be the fastest growing large economy in the world. His second pillar, friends, and of course, this journey has led to a growth in the region of 6 or 7% on a sustained basis. We hope to edge it up to 8%, and this is at constant prices. On a nominal US dollar denominated GDP growth, we are nearly 9.5%, 10%, because our foreign exchange, our currency, has maintained stability. And even in the case of international upheavals, we have been amongst the better performing economies amongst the emerging markets. Today we sport the world's fourth largest foreign currency reserves at about $690 billion, more than twice what we had inherited. Our inflation story, I think, for the last 3 months has been below 4%. And I think the Reserve Bank has done a phenomenal job over the last 5 or 6 years in maintaining a good balance between liquidity in the market and between the interest rates and currency management that we have seen. Of course, the stock market, and of course, the stock market is not the only barometer, so kindly don't hold me to this. But by and large, the stock market discounts the future. And if we look at the 2014 to 2025 period, the stock market has probably grown 300%. It should be a 4x plus. If I remember correctly, and my memory doesn't fail me, somebody could probably use Chat GPT or Grok or the good old Google if you still use that. But I think the Nifty was probably at about 5,700 or 5,800 when we came into government in 2014. You must be a big investor. From 5,700 or 800, anybody found the number so far? CII slow ho gaya bhai. We are today at what, nearly touching 25,000? My maths is not wrong. Show me one comparable case in the world which has given this kind of a return on a large base of companies over a sustained decade. I remember reading a report by one of the advisory companies, firms in Mumbai, which had looked at the returns that the stock markets across the world have given over the last 20 years, 30 years. And we were right on top of the chart. And we are not dependent on 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 scripts. Our returns are nearly 20% CAGR over probably a few hundred companies over the last 20 years or 25 years. And which is what makes India a compulsive investment destination. You've seen the FDI numbers, they've consistently been breaking records. Saw a little slowdown for a year and a half. The last number I saw was again back to $81 billion. So we are back on track on the growth trajectory, and we are working through international trading relations. A free trade agreement concluded with UAE, Australia, UK, the 4 EFTA countries, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein. Well on track in our bilateral trade agreement with the United States of America, making fast progress with the European Union 27-nation bloc, launched the New Zealand negotiations. The minister just sent me a message yesterday, looking forward to our meeting in Paris next week, where I'm leading a large business delegation, and then onwards to Italy, and another business delegation going to Switzerland, who have come, the EFTA countries have committed $100 billion FDI into India in the next 15 years. $100 billion FDI will translate to nearly $500 billion, will crystallize $500 billion of investment with Indian partners, debt and all of that put in. And then we'll create a large ecosystem around it of possibly another $500 billion. So we are not aiming small, we are not looking small. And by the way, this doesn't include the Norwegian pension fund investment into the stock market. This pure play FDI. And it's the first FTA in the world to have such a clause. I'm told other nations are now starting to think the way India thinks. I'm only trying to tell you that economy and the pillars of the economy we are building up for all of you. On the second track, look at the international image that India has built up today. And that is on the strength of decisive leadership. That is on the strength of 1.4 billion people providing a large market, providing a large pool of talent, skilled manpower, providing a destination which can grow at scale, both for the domestic demand and with competitive manufacturing, provide goods and services to the world at affordable costs. A country which is today able to navigate every crisis, every challenge, and convert that into an opportunity, into a benefit for the people of India. I'm sure when you go anywhere in the world, the Indian passport today gives you a respect that I suspect none of us would have experienced 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. This international recognition and interest to work with India also gives us a great driver of the India growth story. If I can recount at least 12 or 13 nations who have in the last 3 months come to India with large business delegations and are now looking to us to provide the investment opportunities, are looking to all of you to collaborate with, to have joint ventures with, to work their technologies in India and become a trusted partner that India is seen as in their effort to have resilient supply chains. And therefore this international recognition of your strengths, your abilities, and the India growth story is something which will hold us in good stead. Our effort towards sustainability, our focus on clean energy, renewable energy, our commitment as a responsible global player in the effort to leave behind the world as a better place than what we have inherited. All of these are being recognized by the world. Just today, somebody mentioned to me that renewable energy coupled with storage for the peak hours is now available in India at 3 rupees 30 paisa per kilowatt hour, amongst the lowest in the world. Solar, wind plus storage. Now, it's a compulsive case for data centers to come to India. Where else in the world will you have such a large interconnected grid with such low-cost clean energy available to power data centers? Our effort to promote electric mobility has started bearing fruit. And this is something which, once we reach the inflection point, will have a galloping effect as more and more people recognize that it's not about sustainability alone. It's an economic case. Today, public transport, whether it's a taxi, whether it's a bus, or a logistics-related truck, tempo, or pickup van, doesn't need any subsidy to convert or change over to the electric mobility ecosystem. On its own, it's a compulsive business case for all of us to adopt. And given that we now have plug-in hybrids as an option, we have range extenders or vehicles which have different models on which people with low usage, mid usage, or high usage can select what kind of mobility they want to move to. We see huge business opportunities presenting themselves, and it will be only ourselves to blame if these international opportunities we miss out on. And I would urge all of you not to lose our focus on greater engagement with the world, not look up to the government for everything. We have to stand on our competitive and comparative advantages. That is what is going to make India a big force in the world. And the last pillar on which Prime Minister Modi has focused his energies is inclusive growth. How can we ensure 140 crore Indians today have all their basic needs taken care of? His focus for the last man at the bottom of the pyramid, the persons, the families who have remained deprived, marginalized, suffered for generations, have the right for a life of dignity. And that is what Prime Minister Modi has demonstrated through action. Whether it is to make sure that no child ever sleeps hungry in our country, adequate food grains and foodstuffs for every person, becoming self-sufficient and self-reliant for our food needs, trying to make sure every person has a good home, pakka ghar, where his children, his or her children grow up, where the families have quality of life. We already provided about 40 million homes to the poorest of the poor in our first 2 terms. In the 3rd term, we are hoping to add another 30 million homes, provided free of charge to those who have lived a life of indignity for years and years. 25% of the population of India would have received a free home by 2029. 25% of your brothers and sisters. Our effort is that everybody, every person in the country should have a proper home. A home with 24 hours electricity, with good quality water flowing in from a tap available at home. Digital connectivity reaching the nooks and corners of the country, and high quality digital connectivity. You've seen the fastest rollout of 5G at scale in India, faster than any other large country. The idea is to connect villages. The idea is to connect the nation with a network of high-quality roads, highways, expressways. Expand the rail network, both to meet the needs of logistics and industry, and the passengers and the people of India for their commute. Airports, near every habitation, every area, we have grown to from 74 airports in 2014 to 158 airports today, hoping to grow to 225 airports in the coming few years. The idea being that connectivity, food, clothing, shelter, free healthcare for 700 million Indians through Ayushman Bharat, and quality education and skill development to empower 140 crore Indians. The basic needs, once they are taken care of, opportunities available for people of different caliber and different skills. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates today. Everywhere I go, people are saying we don't get people. In fact, farmers are also complaining they don't get labor now. I started a skill development center thanks to CII and run by CII in North Mumbai, my constituency. We've been running job employment camps, job fairs. The last time I visited, there were 5,000 jobs on offer of all types. 2,500 applicants only. In less than 8 or 9 months, nearly 12,500 or 13,000 people have already received a job there, and yet many more jobs available. We are now running a campaign to educate people that please come here, you'll get a guaranteed job. And if you want to upgrade your skills, you'll get a guaranteed free of charge skill training thanks to CII. There's so much happening. So much happening. And the effort is no child in the country should remain deprived. Everybody gets the basic needs of life taken care of. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is building the trust of the people of India in the India story, in the India at 2047 story, is building the confidence in the people to aspire big, to have ambitions which transcend the normal. And on these 3 pillars, strong macroeconomic fundamentals, a nation respected across the world as a trusted partner with whom the world wants to do more business, where we are respected, where we are recognized for our worth, and a nation of 140 crore aspirational Indians. On these 3 tracks, ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing India for Viksit Bharat 2047, a developed nation, a prosperous nation, where speed, skill, and scale will define our journey, our growth journey. And capitalism will coexist with socialism so that we prepare for the integrated development of every human being. The core of my party's philosophy, the ideology with which the Bharatiya Jansangh was formed, which today is the Bharatiya Janata Party, was integral humanism. A human being is defined by an integrated development of every element of his life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Prime Minister has worked for. The integrated development of the nation, the integrated development of 140 crore Indians, leading to our own contribution to the world, which we look upon as our family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for this very inspiring session where you clearly articulated the transformation India has